What is going on, folk? My name is NimbleThor, and welcome back to my mobile gaming quest where I search for the best new mobile games every single day so that I can share them with you guys right here on YouTube. Now, when it comes to 2D tank shooters on mobile, nothing, at least for me, really beats Pocket Tanks, in my opinion. But Pocket Tanks is nearly 20 years old at this point, so I figured that it would make sense to look at some of the newer, somewhat similar games in this genre. And that was when one of you guys recommended me to check out Hills of Steel, so that's what we'll be doing today. Now, Hills of Steel has got both adventure and classic single-player modes, and it's also got 1 and 2 versus 2 multiplayer game modes. And we'll check out those multiplayer game modes later on, but I figured we would start with the single-player game mode, the adventure game mode here, just to show you guys how we play this game, talk a bit about the core gameplay before we go into how progression works in this game, so how we unlock new tanks and how we level them up. And then afterwards, yes, we are gonna go in and get our ass beaten in a multiplayer game mode. Maybe with a bit of luck, we'll be able to beat someone, but so far, I've been losing most of the matches. Now look at this. This is the boss, Legion. Now, this guy is gonna deal a ton of damage to us, so we have to be really careful. Maybe we can get underneath him. See, this is smart. This is a good strategy. Yes, we beat him already. So we won the match. We got how much gold? We got 20 gold, and I think this is also gonna give us one more star so that we can unlock a loot box, if I'm not mistaken. Or, no, we need to get one more. Okay, so we've got one. You can see that in the bottom of the screen right now. From the adventure mode, we earn the silver stars, and from multiplayer, we earn the gold stars. And both of those types of stars can open new loot boxes, which will allow us to get maybe a new tank, or it will allow us to get more of the same tank so that we can level it up. Now, let's try once more with the same tank in the next adventure mode level. Now, unlike Pocket Tanks, of course, combat in Hills of Steel is very action-driven and real-time, as opposed to turn-based in Pocket Tanks. So we can drive forward and we can drive backwards, and then we've got a simple fire button. And that's about it. Really simple controls that work well. Everything is physics-based, though, so shooting means that our tank is going to be blown a bit back because of the recoil. That is an interesting system as well. It does mean that in the beginning, at least, it's going to take a bit to get used to the controls and used to shooting and aiming well with your tank. But over time, you're going to get it, though, and that is part of the fun of the game as well, is that it's actually physics-based, and I quite like that. In fact, I tend to like most physics-based games because they tend to be a bit more casual, a bit more fun, and goofy, most of the time at least. So it looks like we are about 25% done with this level right now. We are taking some serious damage, though, but we're also dealing a lot of damage to these guys. Now, I do think there's a boss at the end of every level, at least there's been so far. Most of those bosses play almost the same. They look a bit different, but they play mostly the same. And so after a while, you'll probably get bored with the campaign modes. I'm still having fun with it, but I guess for a lot of people, they play this game because of the multiplayer game mode. Now, look at this. There are 2 tanks down there now. Oh, man. Okay. Wow. We're down to, I would say, about 30% HP now because of that guy in particular. And now it's time for the boss battle. Now, this hilly landscape certainly doesn't make it easier to control our tank and to shoot with our tank without getting hit ourselves. I think we're just gonna go for it here, though. Guys, this one we're gonna lose. Yes, we lost. Destroyed. Use a repair kit to fix your tank. We can watch an advertisement, or we can spend 3 of the premium currency, and we won't have 8 of that premium currency, which is the amount that we earned for free. So let's just end it here instead. We still got some gold, though, so that gold can still be used to upgrade our tank. I did forget to do that before, so we're gonna go do that right now. Let's level up the one and only tank we have right now, so it has a bit more armor, a bit more gun power, and a bit more engine power. Now, we can also spend gold, if we had enough of it, on buying a cosmetic skin for our tank. Looks kind of cool. Mostly there for the multiplayer game mode, I guess, because then you can show off how awesome you look with your new and fancy skins. And there are also skins for these later tanks, and some of them look kind of cool, like the Flashier, for example. But we do need premium currency to unlock these tanks, or we can get them from the loot boxes. Now, I already talked a bit about how we get stars from campaign missions and from multiplayer missions, and they allow us to open up these loot boxes, and that's basically how we progress in this game. Now, we can also go into the shop, of course, this being a free-to-play game. It's not unlike any other free-to-play game out there on mobile. There are in-app purchases that allow us to buy these premium currency gems, and those gems can be turned into gold directly, which of course means we don't ever have to worry about running out of gold, but more importantly, we can also buy these epic, rare, and common chests. Now, we do also have some daily chests, as you guys can see up here, where we can watch an advertisement to get 1 free chest every day. But obviously, if you spend real-life money on the game, you're gonna progress so much faster. Now, there is also a game mode that allows us to earn some of the premium currency for free, though. And that's the one here called Gem Mania. And in Gem Mania, we can earn, well, actually, we can earn upwards of 200 premium currency in this challenge league. We only have 3 lives, though, but let's still go for it and see if we can earn some premium currency. We're gonna fight against another player, or I would say another player's tanks, controlled by a bot, most likely, because matchmaking took absolutely 0 seconds here. So I don't think we're actually fighting against another player. And also, can we just talk a bit about how big that tank is? Seriously, this doesn't seem like a fair fight, honestly. Even though we actually... Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. One more hit and we're dead. One more hit and he's dead. And we won, yes! There was 1 victory, 0 deaths. And what did that give us? It gave us a commercial break. Alright, we're back from the commercial break, and I only just now noticed that actually we only get those 200 premium currency if we have the VIP mode. Now, the VIP mode is another way this game monetizes, and that VIP mode costs just about $10-12 US per month. So it's a pretty expensive in-app purchase. Now, you don't need it. You can absolutely enjoy the game, the single-player aspect of it at least. Now, obviously, PvP is never going to be completely fair, but I'm mostly playing the game for the single-player mode. If you plan to play for the multiplayer, maybe, you know, either reconsider if this is the game for you, or consider if you might just be able to spend, you know, between $10 to $15 US on this game per month, that is. It's not as ridiculous as some other mobile games that charge, you know, between $5 and $10 US per week. We've seen multiple of those games. In fact, I played a game just this week that had that type of monetization system. But it's still quite a bit to spend on a casual tank 2D single and multiplayer mobile game. I mean, we did win that other match though, and I actually kind of think that most of the multiplayer or quote-unquote multiplayer matches in this game aren't actually multiplayer. It seems that most of the time we're fighting against bots controlling other players' characters or other players' tanks. I can't really prove that, but then again, I can't really prove that we are actually fighting against other players either. So it's just my suspicion, and it wouldn't surprise me because this game isn't brand new anymore, and still matchmaking is incredibly fast. I'll go show you guys that as soon as we're done dealing with this Legion guy here. At least, hopefully, we'll be able to win this one. Yes, there we go. So that was a boss defeated, and now, did that earn us 1 more silver star? Yes, it did. So now we can open up this loot box here. Hope we're gonna get something awesome. We got more of the same tank, so we can now level that up to level 4, I guess, or 5. And we got a bit more gold as well. But now, though, we are gonna go into a 2 versus 2 multiplayer match. So I'm gonna spend 100 gold to level this guy up first, and then now let's go for it. But look at this. Look at how fast the matchmaking was here. In fact, I mean, there was no matchmaking, right? We were just instantly in here with another player. And for some reason, that player didn't start moving before we moved, which also makes things a bit suspicious. But then again, this doesn't ruin the game. You can still enjoy the game just fine. I mean, I'm having fun here. Destroying these guys, obliterating them. Look at that. That went a lot better than last time I played. Before I started recording this video here, I'll just lose nearly every single one of these multiplayer matches. But now it seems we're winning. Now it seems we're doing a bit better. Maybe it has to do with the fact that I upgraded my tank as well, so I can take a bit more damage and also deal a lot more damage now. Look at this. Can we attack them from a distance? If so, that's always beneficial, but pretty quickly we got up front and center here, and we got another victory, actually. That is interesting. And now it's time for another commercial break, it seems. Now, it's worth mentioning, by the way, that all of these advertisements can be removed through just a single $1 US in-app purchase. So you can definitely enjoy the game ad-free, and also it's also offline playable. So obviously when you're not online, you're not gonna see any advertisements either. But what I'm really missing though from this game is some sort of friend mode or friend system, or maybe even a guild system. But a friend system would be enough. That's part of what I really like about Pocket Tanks, is to play the game with other people, either online or just on the same device. Now, this game wouldn't work with same device multiplayer, but it would work really well with a friend system, so you could play versus someone you know in real life, and you could agree on which tanks you're going to use, and in that way, the game would be less pay to win as well, or at least you would be able to enjoy the game a lot more because you would just agree to say, hey, we're not gonna use those really overpowered tanks. Like for example, this one here. Look at it. It's a beauty, and it costs 720 of the premium currency, which I believe is just about $20 or so if you want to get that one immediately. Now, that might not sound too bad actually. I mean, if you really enjoy the game, $20 is, I guess decent. I typically don't spend that much money on a game, but you pay $50 or $60 for for a AAA PC game, and I know this is not exactly the same, but I'm just trying to argue for the fact that obviously if you enjoy the game, you should spend whatever you feel like spending on those games. But still, remember, you still have to level up that tank. So it's not enough that you simply buy it. You need to get more of the same version of the tank. So you're probably going to spend a whole lot more than just those $20, at least at the higher level PvP ranks. But we got another 2-player win here, which gave us another star. And actually, I quite like this 2-player game mode. It's fun for the time being, although I do imagine that eventually I'll probably want to go back to single player, because eventually I expect that we're going to meet too many people who have bought 2 powerful tanks, even though, obviously we're gonna get matched against players on our level. At least that's how it's supposed to be. But eventually, we're going to get up there, and then, we probably won't be able to follow those guys anymore unless we spend real life money on the game. But I'm still covering it though, because I think it's still a very enjoyable gameplay experience. And if you stick to the single player game mode, I think you can have a lot of fun with this game. But let me know what you think about Hills of Steel though. It's definitely not as good as Pocket Tanks. But that's because I'm a bit of a Pocket Tanks fanboy. So let me know what you think about Hills of Steel. There's a good chance that a bunch of you have already played the game. It released all the way back in 2017, so it's not exactly brand new anymore. So if you played it, let me know if you liked it. And now it's time for the mobile gaming news of the day, which is that Pokemon Go has now reached $3 billion in lifetime revenue. At least that's according to analytics company Sensor Tower, with the average money spent per user at just about $6. And I've said this before, but I'll say it again. I simply cannot believe that this game is still doing so well for itself. Don't get me wrong though, I really enjoyed playing Pokemon Go for, well, I think I played it for nearly 2 years actually, but it's still really impressive that a game that is 3 years old at this point can still have months where it earns more than $100 million per month. But hey, I guess it's Pokemon, so what else would we expect? That franchise just never dies, I guess. So anyway, hope that you enjoyed your time here today. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate you spending a few minutes with me. And until next time, just keep gaming, stay awesome, and I'll see you guys around.